Hi, I'm Stephanie. I'm a visual facilitator and I was one of the recipients of the Rewriting the Narrative grants from Future Screens. Before the pandemic, I would come alongside conferences and large public meetings to capture the conversation there and turn it into hand-drawn illustrations. And then, COVID hit and all that changed, and everybody had to learn how to work together online and from a distance, and soon Zoom fatigue was gripping the nation. And I knew that visual facilitation was uniquely placed to help with that. So I wanted to explore what it meant to translate people's thoughts into images when you're not in the room together. And also if new technologies could offer something new to take that practice forward and make remote collaboration work. In particular, I was interested if VR would be a medium that was suitable for visualizing people's thoughts in a remote online setting. For VR to work for visual facilitation, it was important that the technology was accessible for meeting participants, that it was effective in translating thoughts to images, and most importantly, that it allowed for live rapid capture so that I could draw live in the meeting with the participants to capture their thoughts. I used Tilt Brush and Quill. Those are two VR drawing apps. I got a lot of help with Quill from VR artist Ruxandra Popescu. We also tried Mozilla Hubs, which is a VR meeting platform, but we found that that was technologically less accessible, we thought, to many people, and it was a bit difficult to navigate and also didn't have great live drawing functionality. So we stuck with a bit of Tilt Brush, but mostly Quill, and then explored workflows from there. So the first workflow I tested was to export my artist perspective from the headset directly live as a live stream to Facebook. So that worked quite well, but the resolution was low and Facebook might not be the appropriate platform in many cases. What I did find with that first attempt was that hand lettering doesn't work when it's in 3D and you can walk around it, and when you move one step suddenly you can't read the text anymore. And I also found that probably in visual facilitation normally you use lots of separate icons and images alongside text, but I found that it's probably landscapes that try and capture what people are trying to describe in words that work best, that are easiest to engage with in VR. The second workflow we tested was to share directly the artist view from the headset live on Zoom as a screen share. And that worked really well. It's very easy and accessible. Most importantly, it allows for live capture, so it becomes a live tool, the VR drawing app. And what's also cool is that you can import the Zoom call into the drawing app. So whilst in my headset, I can see the Zoom participants and I can see their presentations, and they can see what I'm drawing when I share my screen with them. The third and fourth workflow options we tested were for non-live settings, so this is for after the meeting. The third workflow was to do the visual facilitation work, create a 3D illustration of a conversation, and then to animate a camera path through that 3D model. So you'd end up then with a video recording of you walking through the VR space, through the 3D illustration. The fourth workflow option we tested was to sculpt the 3D model, so to make a VR visual facilitation summary of a conversation, and to upload that to Sketchfab, which is an online platform for 3D models. You can edit it there, and it's interactive, so you can click around and find your way through it yourself. And then you can export that 3D model and embed it on any website. So that's really cool, as like a 3D model on a website for after meetings or events. So the jury is still out on big conclusions, but what I do know is that to do this live, I'd need a lot more hours in the drawing app. It's a very different experience from drawing on my iPad, which I'm still a lot better at. It's also less like drawing and more like sculpting, because you're working with this 3D virtual material, this sort of 3D invisible clay. What's also different is that working with hand lettering, with text, doesn't work as well. And working with separate images that otherwise just kind of like float in virtual space doesn't work as well. So what you're left with is really crafting these 3D landscapes that try and represent what people have in their minds, or try and communicate to each other that they have in their minds. So I think that means that visual facilitation in VR works less well as the traditional visual notes or visual minutes. But it could be really cool and bring a lot of value in interpreting conversations. So bringing people's thoughts and bringing people's conversations deeper into the realm of metaphor and abstraction. And that could work, in taking people along in visioning exercises, for example. I've started talking to people about this project and about using VR for visual facilitation and mentioning it to clients. They're really intrigued and excited to see, where this could fit with their work. And I've started getting some requests in as well, so we'll see where this leads.